Imagine a utopia, then watch it crumble. That's Universe 25. Picture this, a world designed for pleasure. Food is abundant, shelter is plentiful, there are no predators, every need is met, every desire fulfilled. It sounds like paradise, doesn't it? A place where every creature can live without fear, without want. A perfect world. This was the reality for the inhabitants of Universe 25. A meticulously crafted rodent utopia. A place where every detail was designed to create an ideal living environment. However, this paradise had a fatal flaw. Beneath the surface of this seemingly perfect world, something was terribly wrong. It was a world with walls. And within those walls, a dark and disturbing truth unfolded. The very abundance that was meant to ensure happiness began to unravel the fabric of their society. Universe 25 wasn't some distant planet. It was a controlled environment, a microcosm of society. It was a metal box, a meticulously designed habitat created by ethologist John B. Calhoun in 1968. His goal was to study the effects of population density on social behavior. The experiment was meant to study the effects of population density on social behavior. Calhoun's subjects? Mice, hundreds of them. They were given everything they needed to thrive. Initially, life in Universe 25 mirrored its utopian design. The mice thrived, they lived in harmony, their needs met, their lives seemingly perfect. They reproduced at an astonishing rate. The population grew rapidly, filling the space with life and activity. But as their numbers swelled, a darkness began to creep into this manufactured Eden. The abundance that once seemed like a blessing became a curse. The once thriving community began to unravel. Social structures broke down, aggression and apathy took hold. What started as a study in population density became a chilling glimpse into the potential fragility of societies, even in the face of abundance. The very fabric of their society began to tear apart. Universe 25 stands as a stark warning, a silent parable whispering across the decades asking us, could this be our fate? Could the very things we strive for lead to our downfall? Could this be our future? As we look at our own crowded cities and overpopulated spaces, we must ask ourselves, are we heading towards our own Universe 25? Meet John B. Calhoun, the man who built a rodent utopia. His goal? Understand us. But his journey was far from simple. John B. Calhoun wasn't some mad scientist. He was a visionary, a man driven by a singular goal, to understand the human condition through the lens of animal behavior. His work was groundbreaking, pushing the boundaries of what we knew about social structures and environmental impacts. His tool of choice? Mice. These small creatures, often overlooked, became the cornerstone of his experiments. Through them, he sought to unravel the mysteries of social behavior and population dynamics. His laboratory? Not a sterile white room but meticulously crafted environments designed to mimic the real world, with all its complexities and challenges. These environments were carefully controlled, allowing Calhoun to observe every nuance of behavior. Calhoun's fascination with population density stemmed from his observations of wild rats. He noticed how their behavior changed as their numbers grew, leading to a cascade of social issues. He'd witnessed firsthand how overcrowding could lead to aggression, social breakdown, and even death. These observations were crucial, forming the basis of his later experiments. But he wanted to understand these behaviors in a controlled environment, free from the constraints of the natural world. He believed that by isolating variables, he could pinpoint the exact causes of social decay. Thus, Universe 25 was born. This wasn't just an experiment, it was a bold attempt to create a perfect society, a utopia for rodents. More than just a cage, it was a rodent metropolis complete with multi-level housing, unlimited food and water, and protection from predators and disease. Every detail was designed to eliminate stress and provide for every need. It was the perfect world, a utopia designed to allow Calhoun to observe the mice at their best, or so he thought. He expected to see harmony and prosperity, but the reality was far more complex. Calhoun's work wasn't about mice, it was about us. He saw in their behavior a reflection of our own, a microcosm of human society writ small. His findings were intended to shed light on our own social issues. He saw in their behavior a reflection of our own, a microcosm of human society writ small. The parallels were striking, offering insights into the effects of overcrowding and social stress on human communities. And what he saw in Universe 25 wasn't encouraging. Instead of a thriving society, he observed chaos, violence, and a breakdown of social norms. The utopia quickly turned into a dystopia. It was a stark reminder that even in paradise, darkness can take root. Calhoun's work serves as a cautionary tale, highlighting the fragile balance between order and chaos in any society. Free food, no predators, an ideal world for mice, or so it seemed. Sounds perfect? Not for long. The initial tranquility was deceptive. Things got strange in paradise. The cracks began to show as the population grew. At first, life in Universe 25 was a dream. The mice had everything they needed. The mice, freed from the constraints of the real world, flourished. They thrived in their new environment. They ate, they slept, they reproduced. Life was simple and good. Their numbers doubled every 55 days. The population boom was unprecedented. The future looked bright, a testament to the power of Calhoun's utopian vision. It seemed like a perfect model of success. But as their numbers grew, so too did the tension. The space that once seemed ample began to feel cramped. The once harmonious community began to fracture. Conflicts became more frequent and intense. Social hierarchies, once stable and predictable, dissolved into chaos. The social order was breaking down. The mice, once content, grew increasingly aggressive. Their behavior became erratic and unpredictable. Males, once protectors and providers, became withdrawn and listless. They lost their drive and purpose, or turned their aggression on each other, fighting for dominance in a world with no real stakes. The battles were fierce and relentless. Females, overwhelmed by the demands of motherhood in an increasingly chaotic world, abandoned their young or turned aggressive themselves. The nurturing instinct was eroding. The very fabric of their society began to unravel. The order that once held them together was disintegrating. The abundance that was meant to liberate them had become a curse, a source of stress and anxiety. The utopia was turning into a dystopia. The mice of Universe 25 were living proof that even in paradise things can go very, very wrong. The experiment was a stark reminder of the complexities of social dynamics. As the experiment progressed, a chilling pattern emerged. Calhoun called it the behavioral sink. It was a downward spiral of social and psychological disintegration, triggered by overcrowding and the breakdown of social norms. The behavioral sink wasn't just about aggression and violence, it manifested in other subtler ways. Mice became withdrawn and isolated, neglecting their young and disengaging from social interactions. Others engaged in repetitive, seemingly pointless behaviors, a rodent parallel to our own anxieties and compulsions. The once thriving community had descended into a dystopian nightmare, a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked growth and the fragility of social structures. The mice of Universe 25, despite their idyllic surroundings, were dying out, victims of their own success. The behavioral sink, Calhoun argued, wasn't limited to rodents. It was a phenomenon that could manifest in any species, even humans. Section 5, From Mice to Men. Can what happened in Universe 25 happen to us? Let's talk 2025. It's 2025. The world is more connected than ever. We're facing unprecedented challenges: climate change, political polarization, social unrest. The echoes of Universe 25 feel eerily familiar. We see the signs of the behavioral sink all around us: rising rates of anxiety and depression, the erosion of social trust, the increasing polarization of our political discourse, the glorification of individualism over community. Are we, like the mice of Universe 25, hurtling towards our own self-destruction? The parallels are hard to ignore. Just as the mice of Universe 25 were overwhelmed by their artificial abundance, we are bombarded with information, stimulation, and choices. Our technology, meant to connect us, often serves to isolate us, trapping us in echo chambers of our own making. The temptation is to despair, to see in Universe 25 a grim prophecy of our own inevitable demise. But to do so would be to miss the point. Calhoun's work wasn't meant to scare us. It was meant to warn us, to show us the potential pitfalls of our own behavior, and inspire us to find a better way. While the future remains uncertain, we hold the power to shape it. By learning from the past and making conscious choices, we can create a world that thrives on compassion and cooperation. Every small action counts. Together we can build a society that values well-being and sustainability, ensuring a brighter future for generations to come. Remember, the lessons of Universe 25 are not just about mice. They are a mirror reflecting our own society. It's up to us to heed the warning and strive for a better tomorrow.